13 years ago, on a short bus in a small town in Washington, two idiots met. A bunch of stupid stuff happened. We want you to listen to those stupid stories.
Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of Living with Humor. I am your host, Brock Terrano. I got my co-host, Brent Tomczak, and today we have a very special guest. We have Alyssa. I've known her, for a while now, I think. We met at the saloon when you were working at the saloon, I think.
I think it might have been before that. I think it was just in Tacoma in general. Like,
yeah.
Backstage.
Yeah.
Maybe. I don't know.
I know, because I know
Team friends.
Yeah. Yeah. Because I know we hung out at Uncle Sam's a few times.
Yeah.
Which that was an interesting venue. But yeah, and I definitely remember the saloon in Uncle Sam's, and then you started working at the Hayu, which is where me and my buddy Tony used to hang out all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, so you used to hang out at Uncle Sam's because you were KISW rock girl, right? That is.
How did you guess? How did you?
I was trying to figure out a smooth transition, but it didn't work.
That's the joys of new podcasters. Be like, how do we phrase this? We'll just talk to them about them, and they'll just sit here. But, hey, tell us about yourself, but we'll tell you everything you need to know about you.
Yeah. But yeah, so like, what was that like?
Hanging out at Uncle Sam's.
Just being going to all the concerts and stuff. Yeah.
It was cool. I was kind of used to it, just like being musicians and everything, because my dad, he passed away last year, but he was a professional musician my whole life. So it was kind of just like moving from, way in the music industry to like another way in the music. He was not stoked about it though.
Oh, really?
Glorified groupie, like better than this.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it was fun. It was interesting. I mean, there's a lot of things about it that a lot of people don't know, and how we have to conduct ourselves and stuff. Like we have a contract we have to sign.
Oh, really?
Okay. Make sure your hair and makeup is done, like always be doing this, represent and don't fuck rock stars.
Yeah. Yeah.
While you're on the clock.
Yeah, while you're on the clock. And we have a mutual friend that was a rock girl for a while, I think. I can't remember her name. That's how good of friends we are, I guess.
We're gonna have coffee,
right? But no, so like, what are some of the bands that you got to meet and work with?
Let's see. Well, one of our biggest events that we had was always painting the grass. So that's like, and I was around most of them, because I was like around like BJ Miggs and Thrill, all the guys from the studio, like all the time, but painting the grass, there's like I don't know how to explain it. There's like a hidden little like spot behind back where the tour buses are and stuff, and like go down there, and it's like they have a bunch of barbecue chicken and a little stage and all that stuff, where a lot of the musicians would go, and they'd like either like do a little performance, or they do like an interview with Taryn or Misha or whatever. But at one time that was actually pretty funny is one of my favorite bands in the world is In This Moment. Loved In This Moment.
Yeah.
And well, I guess I didn't love them that much because I couldn't recognize all their band members.
Oh, that's hilarious.
I was like, that's all I need to know. But
Yeah.
no, I was backstage, which is another rule of KISW. So you have a little miniature stage where people,
Yeah.
do their interviews, and then behind the curtain, there is they have like a little like petting, they have a petting zoo.
What?
Dead ass. So they have.
That's hilarious. So they have like
there's-
goats and shit.
No, maybe not. Okay, not that extreme, but it's like they
Okay.
have Motley Zoo, which they like adopt out animals. That's
Yeah.
called Motley Zoo, and they come to Pain in the Grass, and they like they have like dogs and cats and whatever that need to be adopted, and they bring
Okay.
these events. But it's
Yeah.
like when you think like backstage behind like a big rock concert, you're thinking like hookers and blow and all this stuff. In reality,
Yeah.
it's a plate of chicken and kitties.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
That's
I
super
was
funny.
back there, and we're actually not supposed to go back there because I guess some rock girls in the past were fucking rock stars. So
Gotcha.
yeah, the big guys were like, yeah, they can't go back there anymore. But of course we did it anyway.
Yeah, of
So,
course.
because we wanted to pet the cats. So we go back there.
Yeah.
And I remember I had to go get something, and there wasn't really anyone back there except for this one guy. And he was like sitting down, really quiet, and he had like a bunch of paint on his arms and stuff. Like he was obviously talent,
Yeah.
And I was just kind of like, whatever, just like walk by because I was doing something.
Yeah.
And he's holding a kitten like this like bearded man with like all this theatrical paint all over him and stuff, and he's like holding this little kitten, and I just went up to him and I like pet the top of the cat's head, and I'm like, I think she likes you, and that's all I said to him, and I just like walked whatever, and then all the other rock girls just just flood back there, and they're like, oh my god, can I take a photo with you? So this guy hold this kitten, and I was looking over like, who the fuck is this guy?
Yeah.
It was Kent Dimmel, drummer of In This Moment.
Just having a moment with this kitten, just like, yes, I will relax before the show.
So the drummer, your favorite band, you didn't recognize. That's hilarious. That's super funny.
You had all this solo time to be like, hey, Sophie.
Yeah.
That is super fucking funny. So is Pain in the Grass the only event you guys did, or?
No, we had like did like Red Fest for the Red, and it was kind of like a freak show based type of circus thing.
Yeah.
I didn't do that one. One I did do was Live Day. I worked Live Day, and I swear I was just like the most like type of person. It's called Live Day, so we're live, right?
Yeah.
And I'm up on the stage with another rock girl, and they're doing Big Dummy. So like rockaholics come up and like do the whole dummy thing, and I'm standing up there, and I got like 2 hours of sleep. I think I had like one eyelash on. I had like extensions that were just like bam, 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 and then threw like a backwards hat on because I was late. All the big guys were just like, oh god, when are we gonna get to fire her? So I'm like on the stage or whatever, and I'm just like, and then I checked my phone later, and like all my friends were like, yeah, so you were on TV. You looked really mad. Were you mad? And I'm like, I was on what? They're like, yeah, we were watching you live the entire time. And I was like, Oh my God.
It's never when you're ready. It's always when you're not.
That is fucking hilarious. So, how'd you recover from that?
I think they got rid of the rock girls like 6 months later.
Yeah, are they not doing? They don't have the rock girls anymore.
No. So.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm the last of the Mohicans. Yes. So they quit doing it. So it's like every February is when they announce the new rock girls.
Yeah.
But I don't know if like, because this was before COVID happened. So they decided that they weren't going to bring the rock girls back before the end of the world anyway.
Yeah.
You know, they couldn't have known that. They couldn't have known
right.
Everything was going to completely shut down in a couple of
right.
months. But they decided, you know, they like called us and did like a big like group thing, and they're just like, you guys probably know why we're calling. I think it was just like the state of the world and the whole like Me Too movement, and you know, like I guess the studio got a lot of backlash for, you know, like people thought it was a degradation of women, like was a slap in the face to women, and they just heard enough, and they were just finally like
so they were kind of pressured into dropping you guys. That sucks. So do you do any gigs to replace that, or because I know you tried out for you've tried out for Inked a few times, right?
Yeah, Inked magazine. I tried out for that. I don't know. I've just been focusing more just on this bartending.
Yeah.
And you know.
Yeah.
I think part of me is kind of like afraid to get back into it. I don't know. I've always had like some type of brand on me, whether, you know, Hooters or The Rock or whatever.
Yeah.
I seem to always that line of work where it's like, here, we're gonna tell you how you're gonna be to the world, and then your contract, and then you're gonna just, it makes me feel comfortable, I guess. So now I'm kind of like, what do I do? And I don't have a company telling me what to do now.
Yeah. Well, since you brought up bartending, and I'm also slightly afraid to ask, but you've definitely gotten me drunk on several occasions. Do you have any stories or incidents that stand out?
Oh God.
Yeah.
Okay. You want the yeah, all right.
Yeah.
Do you want the one where you were on the phone and I was
I forgot about that. Yeah.
You want that one?
Yeah, we can do that one. All right, let's do that one first.
My butt one. Okay, so I was off work, but like a total freak, I like to go and drink at the establishment that employs me. It's comfortable there.
Yeah.
So, God, this is what, like 2 years ago, I want to say. Yeah,
I think it was longer than that. Yeah.
Yeah, maybe 3. I don't know.
Yeah.
So, anywho, so I'm out at the bar or whatever. I'm at the Hayu, and I can't remember if Brock was already there or I don't know. Somehow he was there with his friend Tony. That guy's funny. So, oh my God, that guy cracked me up. Anyway, so he's there with his friend Tony, and then I'm there just being Lissa Pissy Yissy You, just like, and Brock's standing on the stool, you know, because he's too tall for anything else. So he's standing on the stool. So he's standing on the stool, and like I'm sitting next to him, and I don't know where Tony was. Tony was somewhere, and there's this guy, and he was like super weird, and he had a backpack, and I remember he had his phone, but he had like his phone was dead, and he was like playing on his dead phone and like acting like he was on his phone.
Yeah.
It was just odd. Like we were watching the guy, we're like, oh no, is this gonna be like a Columbine type of situation? Like
Yeah.
But we're so drunk that we're like, whatever. So there's we noticed this guy. Me and Brock are just sitting there talking shit. And the next thing you know, like I see him out of the corner of my eye. So Brock's to my whatever, he's to my this side.
Yeah.
Too early for me to know my left from right, okay? So Brock's on this side of me, and there's like a post between us, but we're still like kicking it.
Yeah.
And I see Creeper 3000 out of my peripheral, and Brock like leans towards me and he's like, he just touched my butt.
I'm shocked that's the word you chose.
He just drive-by ass grab you?
I don't think that's exactly what he did.
No, he didn't. And he's like, he just touched my butt. Like, he just grabbed my butt. And I was like, I'm like, I'm going to beat his ass. I'm like, I'm defending your honor. I'm going to go beat his ass. Nobody grabs my friend's butt. I don't care who you are.
And then after a couple more drinks, we go outside, and he's there. And I was like, I'm going to say something. And yeah, she started recording. And we'll add that video into the episode. It's pretty funny. But you can hear you're laughing in the background. Yeah, that's right. And there's another funny story that you like to tell about the time I was on the phone.
Oh my God, it's my favorite story. So he got me. He got me good. So I didn't know I was like the audience that was being set up. It's what I get for eavesdropping. But I can't help it. Like, I'm nosy. It's what I do. I'm supposed to have bad ears. I'm supposed to know when things are going awry,
Yeah.
And I want to know, like, all of your business, too. So, so I'm working at a different bar. This is before I worked at the Hi-U. I worked at a bar called the Saloon. And Brock was there, and he was, obviously he's a patron, and he's on the phone. Like, he's like said hi, like, hi, what's up? Whatever. I'm just like, oh, hi, yeah, here, hey, what's up? And then he's on his phone. And he's like, so I'm just like, cut it up, pretend to pour a beer, just damn head dancing in it, maybe clean some glasses. So he's on the phone, and he's like, yeah, so I was working this comedy show, and this girl comes up to me, and he's on the phone saying this story. Like, he's saying this to me. I'm eavesdropping. And he's like, yeah, so this girl comes up to me while I'm, like after my set and everything, and she had the audacity. She comes up to me and she's like, well, you're so short. Like, do you have to stand on a step stool to get a blowjob? And I'm like, what? I'm like, this bitch said that to him? No, like, that's so insensitive. And then he pauses, because he knows I'm listening, but I don't know that he knows that I'm listening. So he pauses and he goes, "She found out."
So Alyssa's doubled over behind the bar, just cracking up. And then a couple other customers were eavesdropping too, because a couple of them busted out laughing too. But I was on the phone with Justin, Brent.
Of course you were. Trying to rehearse a little bit and be like, all right, she's nosy. We can get her for a little bit. It's like bartending is that weird balance. Because like I've never done it before up to like 8 months ago. It's like I was just hired as an extra cook. And it's like, you seem personable. And they dragged me up front. And now I'm stuck bartending because people are like, hey, you want to go in and see that guy? He's weird. Like, great. Fantastic. But bartending is that weird balance between knowing everything that's going on, but also knowing nothing that's going on. Because like when people come in, you're like, that's not your wife. You shouldn't be doing that. And then people are like, that's like your third girl this week. Something's either going great for you or something's going terrible. Like you need to find an absolute balance with this. So eavesdropping, you come by it naturally and honestly. It's like you try not to, but you really, really want to know. Especially if you walked in the bar, Brock, I would be eavesdropping on everything you're doing. Just because I'd be like, all right, what am I going to have to get Brock out of trouble for next?
Right.
Yeah.
What do you get?
He's gotten me out of a few situations. Also gotten me into a couple, but
I was not bartending those nights. I was just told I was allowed to have fun those nights. I thought it was my day off. And it turns out I was still your responsible babysitter for that particular evening. But.
Yeah, he and I used to party all the time. But the one story we have that comes to mind is the fucking bonfire.
Oh my god, yes.
You'll love this.
One of Brock's buddies like kind of like invited us down to his parents' house because his parents were out of town. He had this lavish house on the water and he had acreage literally on the water.
Yeah.
And instead of having the party at the house, which was apparently the main compound, which I was like,
yeah,
that's a weird way of referencing your house, but okay.
Yeah.
But then we got there and like, oh shit, this is a main compound because there's like a house here, kick-ass garage here, big old house over there, and you're like,
yeah,
oh, damn.
Over there.
And then we just decided to go out and go party, and he has this big old he's got a digger, giant excavator in his forest, like out in the middle of bumfuck nowhere.
Yeah.
He threw a whole bunch of stuff in there and lit the bonfire in the bucket of the excavator. And we had a couple tables out there, and Brock, of course, decides to start playing beer pong because what else are we going to do? Is a whole bunch of people. So
yeah.
we start having a good time. Of course, Brock starts having drinks, and then one of his buddy's friends starts showing up. One of the biggest dudes I've ever seen in my life, like 6'5", 6'6", just jacked. He had a really, really beautiful, attractive girlfriend. And of course, Brock, being who Brock is, decides, hey, I'm going to start chatting up this girl. And he starts putting the moves on her.
Oh, I think I heard about this story.
And then the huge tatted guy is just kind of like, he just let it happen. Not a care in the world. He was like, if this happens, this happens. Like, if my girl gets picked up by, someone of that height, that happens. I mean, this is a great story. And Brock continues to just keep chatting her up. Nothing ever came of that, surprisingly. Like, Brock actually was doing fairly well for how drunk he was. And then Brock decides to go off, and he's like, all right, I'm just going to go hit the head here for a second. There was a stream in the back in the area where it was completely dark, where you could just kind of go and take a piss or do whatever you needed to do. Because sometimes you don't want to know what's going on at parties, but it's like, this is one of those weird moments of intuition. It's like, Brock's wandering off by himself. Something stupid is going to happen. So it's like kind of just like start leaning back from beer pong. I'm still sipping my beer, and it's like all of a sudden I see Brock like lean back, and all of a sudden he starts leaning forward. Literally sprinted over, grabbed him by the back of his shirt, and held him up from falling into the stream because his balance is just shot. And he's
dog
like,
shit. When
he finished what he did. He's like, all right, Brock, please pull up your zipper. Please, for the love of God, pull up your zipper, put that away. I'm not making eye contact with you or that while this is happening. He's like, okay, I'll do this. The party starts winding up, and there was a hill to go back up to where the truck was parked. And Brock just looks at the truck. I can't make it. I'm not gonna get up there. And then he just turns and looks at me. I'm like, I'm already like shit face to the wind. And he's like,
yeah.
Can you help me get up there? And I'm like, you know what? Fine. So reach down, pick him up. I'm like, I'm sorry, Brock. I know you hate being carried, but there's no other way of getting you up here. There's no other way. It's like, I'm so sorry. You hate when people pick you up. That is your biggest pet peeve, other when people get down on one knee to talk to you or try and pat you on the head and shit. You hate that. So I'm carrying up to this truck.
You've been around for all three.
And I didn't equate for how low the roof of the truck was. So when I turned to put Brock in like this, head smacked the top of the truck, and he is goes, oh. And it's really quiet and still. I'm like, Brock. You're like, I'm okay. My head hurts though. And then we managed to get him in the truck. We got all the way back to the house, and then Brock woke up in the morning and he's just rubbing his head. And he's like, what the fuck happened? It's like, surprisingly, it wasn't the huge dude whose girl you were hitting on. That was me. And he's like, what the hell were you doing? I was like, I was carrying you up the hill. You were drunk. He's like, that sounds about right. Next time, be gentle, damn it.
Yeah.
You'd be like, you carried me.
Brock has been in several situations where you're just kind of like, if this was any other person hitting on the large dude's girlfriend, we wouldn't be talking about it because they'd be missing teeth or injured or something. But because you are who you are, you usually get that natural pass, and dudes are just like, there's no honor in beating you up. It's just straight dishonor and letting this happen. It's like, if my girl leaves me for him, okay, by all means. This was fated. Like, what are you gonna do? You know? That was a hell of a night. But it's funny, even when I'm drunk, I'm still responsible for you.
Yep.
When I'm drunk and you're not, you just let things play out and see where things go with me.
That's not true.
You have not babysat me, and you're like, here, have another shot.
Yeah, that's true.
I can't do this anymore.
Yeah. I'm surprised you haven't died from partying with Ray and I.
I mean, you guys tried on my 18th birthday to do 18 double shots for my birthday. I got all the way up to 11 before I was like, I can't hold my head up. I can't think. Life is awful. I've already puked and rallied. There's nothing left. I'm done.
Yeah, you went straight to bed after
that. We drank till sunrise. We drank from like 10 o'clock till like 6 in the morning.
Yeah.
It was not the best night.
But do you have any other bartending stories, Alyssa? Like just from in general being a bartender?
Yeah. This really happened. So we'll call him Ivan because his fucking name is Ivan. And he's like old school bartender. And I was working at the saloon and he came in or whatever, and like me and him would just like talk about like different stories and stuff.
Yeah. Things
that have happened to us or whatever. And I always love bartenders that are older than me, their stories, because God, they're crazy. So he's telling me the story about how he was working at the Hub.
Oh, okay.
I don't know when this was. It was probably maybe early 2000. I don't know.
Yeah.
Something like that. Like some time ago.
Yeah.
So he's telling me the story about how he was bartending and then like these 3 chicks came in and one of them was just like bawling her eyes out, just like, ah, you know, and he's like, yes, like, I'm gonna get laid. You know? He's just like, yeah. He's just like, so he goes over and he's like, are you okay? Can I get you something? Can I get you a soda water with some lemon? You know? Like, and the girls are just like, she's really upset. She has found out that her husband's been cheating on her. And he's like, oh, no. Yes.
Like she's going to get back at him.
Yeah.
I'm in. He's just like tapping his own self in. So he goes, oh my God, that's horrible. You know, da 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 da. And he's like, if you don't mind me asking, who is this bitch? Like, who would cheat on such a beautiful specimen as you? You know, so, I don't know.
Yeah.
Usual little game you ad lib.
Yeah.
I don't know the ways. I like, yeah, fuck off, leave me alone. I don't know. That seems to work. So, what? Yes. So, so yeah, he goes over whatever, and then he's like, "Oh yeah, who do you cheat on you with, or whatever?" And she's just like, just like loses her mind, right?
Yeah.
Okay, this must be bad. She must be like a dog. Nope. Horse. Guy fucked the family horse.
What?
Yep. Dead ass.
Like,
Yeah.
was he from Enumclaw? Like,
Yeah, it was like straight up like Enumclaw, the zoo documentary, fucking the family horse. In Gig Harbor.
Jesus.
In Gig Harbor. Yeah. I want to know who.
Jesus Christ. I want to know too now.
Like, was this like some KP action, or was this some like Horsehead Bay action? Or like
This reeks of KP. This reeks.
Yeah.
Does have money to have horses, so it could just be those like freaky rich people, you know, like. You know?
Jesus Christ.
I don't even know how you come by this like in passing and be like, I'm really pent up. There's a horse over there. What? How did the situation arise? And then let alone enough to the point you get caught. You'd be like, no matter what you do for the rest of your life, you could cure cancer. People are still going to call you the horse fucker. That's who you are. Can't change that.
Jesus Christ.
The headline will be horse fucker cures cancer. That's it. I don't care what you do for the rest of your life. That's it.
Oh man, that is fucking hilarious. It's probably out in like Shelton.
We're just naming every ghetto area in Western Washington we can think of.
Pretty much.
Tri-Cities.
There we go. Pasco. Jesus Christ. So oh man. All right. So we're gonna go ahead and cut to commercial break. Brent, who do we got this week for the break?
For this week, we will have a special episode. While we were talking about love, Dr. Love is going to give you some amazing advice on love. We'll hit you up after the commercial break, folks. God, that felt so wrong to say. Talk about love. And we are back. Thank you, Dr. Love, for that lovely piece of advice. And again, results may vary. We're sorry we sent you off on such a weird tone, but we'll come back with even weirder stories about me bartending because, you know, that's what I do by trade. Podcasting is something I love doing on the side. However, for my bartending story, it involves just, I want to say it was like my first 2 months as a bartender. I was hired as like an extra cook. I was just that person to help out in the bag, expedite orders, run out stuff, help serve a little bit. And then I guess we were low on bartenders for whatever reason, so I got dragged out there. I'm still learning the ropes. It was one of those super, super slow nights. And in wanders this little, in like mid-70s, maybe late 70s-year-old lady. Comes to the bar and like, what do you do when it's a slow bar? You chat up your patron and just try and see if you can get just a little bit extra on the tip. Just a little bit more because the night's slow, not really killing it all that much. So just having a casual conversation with her, kind of found out like part of her story, like what she was dealing with. And she said her significant other had like left her, found out that he was like a swinger and like he was just all about that life and was trying to mess around on something. Like in the back of my head, I'm like, oh, if you're 70 and you're swinging, I mean, life can't be all that bad. Most people are just happy they get it at that age. So good for him in one regard. However, it's awfully cheating on you. started talking with her more and more, and she started like leaning more and more into the conversation. She's like, "Hey, can I ask you something?" I'm like, "We've been talking for like 15 minutes now. What's up?" And she was like, "I have $500 in my purse. Is that enough for you to go home with me?" What do you mean go home with you? Like what's happening here? And she's like, "I want you to come back to my house and fuck me. I think it would really stick it to him if you did." Like, no.
She was trying to pip you out.
Like, no, thank you. I'm flattered, don't get me wrong, but I don't think anything good could come of this. It's like, no, thank you. And then, yeah, that was the story of how I got almost picked up on by this lady in her late 70s. She wanted me for $500, and every time I tell this story at the bar now, just to try and discourage people from hitting on me, it's like, yeah, $500 can't buy me. Your flattery can't either.
Yeah.
There's a couple of people who always been like, "Why didn't you ask for 1,000?" Like, where's your bartering skills? Like, come on, raise the price. It's like, come on, we know you think you're worth more than $500. That's not the thing about it. It's like, for a bartender to go home with someone, that's how stories start. You have to always be firm in the no. $500 isn't gonna get me. Not happening. So the joys of bartending, and I'm sure Alyssa can share some stories as well where people have just been overall like way further because they think you're accessible, and as a bartender you're stuck. There's nothing you can do. You can't escape the situation. You're on the clock. You're just only so many things you can say and do just to discourage people's general level of behavior.
It happens a lot. I don't know. I'm very like dismissive about her work. I just been in this type of like industry for so long. Like, I can have somebody come up to the bar. I get hit on by females more than males, I found. But it's like they'll come up, like somebody could come up to me and be like, "I want to fuck ya," and I'm just like, "So funny, okay." And then I'm like doing something else. I'm just like, and like I'm just kind of like, "Okay, well, I'll be with you in a minute. You have to wait your turn, okay?" Just like everybody else. But I don't know. I just kind of stuff like that. I'm just kind of just like meh, like it just kind of rolls off me.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think the biggest thing that like gets me like bartending or whatever, like it gets me like hot and just like is fights. Is like you know, people come in or like because you never know when it's gonna happen. And Brent, you've seen this a million times too. Like, you know, here's the setting. Everything's normal, everything's cool, and then
you go pick up one item, you turn around, and it's like, the hell is this?
This happened. And you're kind of like, oh man, I should have been paying attention more.
Yeah, because like the one story like involving fighting is like I was bartending, it was a late night. I finally got like the manager's blessing. I was like, yeah, I'm just gonna leave you behind the bar. I'm gonna go away, just handle business. I'm going home for the night. Okay, cool, whatever. And everything's fine. One of my friends showed up who I used to work with. She's hella cool. She was one of the drink girls over at the golf course, and she does a very good job. And she came in with I want to assume was her boyfriend, but just +1 at least. And they were having a good time talking. She's short, she's skinny, she's very much on the more thinner side of everything. And some dude came in with his girl, and they just started like chatting back and forth. Everything's fine. And the bigger guy, of course, decides like, "Hey man, I don't know how you got a nice piece of ass like that. You look pretty damn average, and she's pretty damn real thin." He's like, I'd love to have a good time with that. And I was like, okay, stop what you're doing here. I can already sense where this is going. You can see the guy who came in with the girl, his brain was already starting to work.
Yeah.
And it's like, and he goes to stand up, and I just literally turn back around. You sit the fuck down.
Yeah.
And he's like, huh?
Yeah.
I was like, no, you sit the fuck down. You watch your damn mouth. You say one more thing, I'll 86 you without a second thought.
Yeah.
You and your whole fucking family. I don't care. Pay your damn bill, get out. And he was just like, I didn't say anything. It's like, you can't talk about women in any regard in this bar like that. Period. End of story. Want to be crass? Get out. And he was like, I was just giving her a compliment saying she's skinny. You have no right to be talking about a woman's body. Period.
Yeah.
I don't care in what context.
Yeah.
Get out. And then he just kind of literally froze up. And luckily, nothing was ever said and done. And eventually, they sat down, like they shook hands and like, hey man, I'm sorry, I should have been talking like that. I've just had a really tough time. I was like, in the back of my mind, it doesn't excuse your behavior. It's like, you don't talk to people like this at all. You don't know what they're going through. You don't know what their struggle is, and you especially don't talk to someone of the opposite sex about their body in any regard. It's none of your business.
Yeah.
Even if it's your girl, none of your business.
Yeah.
Just worry about yourself. So,
yeah.
I was able to diffuse that one. It's the only situation where we've all been like, hey, hostilities are about to get up, because he was going to get up and start throwing punches. Like, nope, we do not do this. Not where I work, not ever. It's like, if you want to go do that, there's a dive bar across the way.
Yeah.
Have it out in front of the police station.
Yeah.
Yeah. I remember Tony and I got into it didn't end up being a fight, but into an altercation with the dude at the Hayu years ago. Do you remember that story?
Was it Mackenzie or Matt?
Yeah, Mackenzie, that's right.
Mackenzie. Yeah, some guy was trying to get her in his car or something.
Yeah, and and beforehand, he was like just being really creepy in the bar, like followed her into the bathroom.
What?
And yeah, I was like just being. No, it was, Jeannie was working.
Okay.
And Jeannie ended up trying to kick him out, but he just wouldn't leave. And then then he looked at Mackenzie. He was like, well, if I have to leave, you're coming with me. And she's like, no, I don't want to. And then he like grabbed her arm and was like, no, you're coming with me. And that's when Tony and I both jumped off the bar stool and like basically physically got him out of the bar. And that was crazy. And then that was weird. I felt bad for Mackenzie because she was super blacked out at that point too.
What?
Well, yeah, right. Like, shocker. But yeah, that was my bar fight story, I guess, even though it wasn't really a fight.
Yeah, the level of audacity that is shown at bars, like I understand alcohol kind of inebriates you and kind of lets you kind of be more to your core person. But a lot of the core stuff I've seen so far as a bartender is just kind of like, wow, people really just suck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, you guys think you're entitled to act and treat and be around people a certain way because you're giving us money, so therefore we're less than you. Yeah. And you also treat your fellow patrons like garbage. It's like, I understand that's a pretty girl, but have you not seen a pretty girl in your lifetime before? Do you not know how to think? Do you not know how to act? Do you not know how to conduct yourself in society around someone who's pretty? Like, you see a beautiful woman, your brain just, well, what happened?
On that, like, it was about a month ago. Like, I hate cheaters. I fucking hate cheaters. Like, they just And it was about a month ago. I think it was a Saturday. I get to know you. Like, I know who your wife is. I know who your significant other is. Yeah. You know, like, you come in and you're not with them or whatever. Like, usually my first question is like, hey, where's your old lady at?
Yeah.
Or, oh, okay. Like, you know, just that's I've always just been like about the woman, you know.
Right.
With stuff like that. And I mean, like, you know, women really appreciate that. And God, it was about a month ago. I had 3 dudes, 3 cheat on their wives.
Jesus.
In one night. That's
Jesus.
And I was like, oh my God. And one guy, I won't say where he works.
Right.
But it is in Gig Harbor. He was like sitting at the bar or whatever, and he's like, oh my God. He's like, I cheated on my wife with a 21-year-old. I don't know how I'm going to go home and I'm going to tell her. And I'm just like, like, you're a grown ass man. Like, you made this decision. Like, you made the decision to screw up your whole family.
Right.
He was just like, what I had a problem with is he was sitting there and he was like talking to us like we were going to be like, no, it's okay.
Yeah.
No, I'm just like, you're a piece of shit.
Yeah.
Like, you're not going to get any sympathy from me. Like,
yeah.
and then I had another one that his wife works in a very respected, especially this, and during these times, field.
Yeah.
That
Okay.
I won't say.
Yeah. Yeah.
That he's sitting there he gets up and he goes and he sits with this lady who comes in and she's kind of always by herself or whatever and like buying her shots and she's like rubbing his leg and all that stuff. And I'm just like looking at this, just like, second piece of shit of the night.
Yeah. Yeah.
Third that was like, hitting on this chick that looked like she was 7. Like, it was just like,
Jesus.
it's just bananas to me.
Yeah.
What? Just be single. If you can't be
Yeah.
to your partner, just
be single.
Off and just be single. Like, don't ruin somebody else's life because you're selfish.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe that's just me.
No, I agree 100%. I was going to say that too. Like, if you're going to cheat, just end the relationship.
Yeah.
Like,
if you're already window shopping when you're a couple months in the relationship, get out.
Yeah.
You already have the jitters. It means you're not faithful and you're not really looking for the future with that person. Don't be that individual. It's like, and when I'm bartending, there are people who, there's a certain industry around where we're at where the men are usually prone to cheat significantly just due to either the hours they work or just some other stupid excuse that they hide behind.
Yeah.
It's like, no, if you love that person, you'll make time for them. Their wives will always come in and like, oh, hey, you leave your husband at home, and they'd be like, have you seen him here with anyone else? And they feel very comfortable approaching the questions like, I'm not going to lie for you. I'm not going to cover for you. If you're doing something stupid, I'll be the first person to be like, yeah, he was here a week ago. He was with this little over here, and they were having a good old time of it. Like, nothing happened here that I saw, but a lot of women have come in and been like, actually very comfortable at least broaching the topic and be like, hey, have you seen my husband? And I've been happy to say for the most part, there's been a lot of guys who've been only coming in with the guys or their wife and family. That's it. Like, as a bartender, I get to know you. I get to know what you do for a living. I know usually where you're at. I usually know what your wife does for work. I know your kids. I know what's going on. It's like our facility that I work in also has a little kids section where it's like, I can put you over there and you can, as a family, can enjoy a dinner and you can still have a drink. But you're going to be off in the corners. Like, I still see you guys. I still know what's happening. And there's little telltale signs of he'll only be checking his phone when she's gone kind of thing.
Yeah.
But for the most part, I haven't seen anything that I would consider egregious. It's still just really disappointing to see, like, I thought highly of you and then you did something like this.
Oh, yeah. And you can't go back. Like, you can't go back on it either, too. Because it's like, the time you see them, like those 3 guys, like, I see them now and I'm just like, why would you even come back in here?
Yeah.
Like,
as a bartender, you feel kind of cheated a bit. You're like, I served you. I stood up for you. I was here for you. And then you start acting like this for no reason.
Yeah. Gross.
It's like every guy that cheated is like, I've met their significant other. I'm like, this is a great woman. A lot of guys would be happy to have her. What are you doing?
Yeah.
Like, she did not deserve this. I don't know what's going on behind closed doors, but I know from what I've seen publicly, she's worshiping you and you are just throwing it away for that quick hit. And that's beyond stupid and foolish.
It's because people are shitty.
People are shitty.
Yeah, that's what it boils down to, in my opinion. But so one thing I wanted to ask is, and we talked about you being a rock girl and going to the concerts and stuff. And I remember you telling me that people would be fans of the rock girls. Did you have any interesting interactions with fans?
Yeah, I had a couple of them. Actually had one. It was kind of odd. I went to Nordstrom
Okay.
a month ago,
Yeah.
and the girl was like, "I know you from somewhere," and I was like, and I like had to think about it for a second. I'm like, "Where does she know me from?" I'm telling you, I was just like, "Yes."
Yeah.
I was just like, "Oh yeah, that thing I did." I was like, "I was a rock girl for KISW," and she's like, "No, that's not it." And I'm like,
Yeah.
I do have some people that come into the High-U, and that was my first interaction with them was through SW. Like they're like,
Oh, okay.
"You're rocker Alyssa," and I was just like, "What?" You know me? I'm a thing. Yes. So that was kind of cool. You know Kathy Black.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's how me and Kathy Black became friends.
Oh, no shit.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just like, "Hey, you're bad." And I was just like, "Ah." She's like, "Can I take a picture with you?" And I'm like, "Yeah," as I'm like waitressing on the floor, like normal person things.
That's super cool.
Yeah, okay. And there's another guy named Steve. The same thing. Yeah, I don't know. Not a lot of I wouldn't think I personally, I was always kind of just like I was always shrugged it off. I was never
Yeah.
big headed about it or anything. But
Yeah.
I did have I was working paint in the grass, and like I'm horrible at interviews. Like I'm like the one who's just the other girls are just like,
Yeah.
Yeah. Bands. Oh my god, I love that band. Fucking hate that band. Yeah. You know.
Yeah.
So I was kind of the one that was just like, I'm here for the chicken. But I had this girl come up to me. It was the last paint in the grass that I worked. And this girl comes up to me and like no warning at all.
Yeah.
Like before the concerts were like the big bands were coming up or whatever. Because they'd always let us be off so that we could go take our shirts, flip them inside out, get a beer, go down the pit.
Yeah.
So it was like the time when we were taking pictures with rockaholics and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And this girl comes up to me, and she's probably like maybe early 20s. And she like gets right in my face, and I'm just like, "Hey!" And she's like, and I'm tall too, so I'm like,
Yeah.
5'9" female, so I'm kind of tall for her.
Yeah.
So I'm just kind of, she's maybe like 5'4", 5'3", I don't know, something like that. So I'm like kind of like, yeah. She's like, so, and she's just like it's an interview, and she's like,
Yeah.
so, what advice would you give to anybody who wants to become a rock girl? Fake microphone. Kind of a situation, and I'm just like,
Yeah.
I ate my own boogers as a kid, like I was like, and I froze. I didn't know what to say.
Yeah.
Like, never,
Yeah.
I never thought about it as like anybody looked up to me, like I was kind of like the back burner of KISW. So I was just kind of like what? You have like all rock stars and stuff. You got like Trejo's Tacos over there. I'm pretty sure Danny Trejo's handing out food.
Yeah.
Like what? You want to me specifically? And so I was just like, the only thing I think of, apply. That's what I said to this chick. Apply. And she goes, her face, she's just like, apply. That's her advice. And I was just like, that's how I did it.
Yeah.
For it, and I got it, and now I wear these tight shirts and these fishnets, and I run around and throw my horns up, and that's what I do for a living, I don't know. So that's like one interaction that I'll never forget. So
Yeah.
that was kind of cool.
That is pretty funny.
it was cool going like up, and because we had a handler. We had a man who was paid to make sure we called him the cat herder. So
Okay.
he basically made it to where he's just like he knew where all of us girls were at all times. Like we all had to be together, like
Yeah.
we're getting into trouble or
Yeah.
having the next Love Child by Aerosmith or something,
Yeah. Yeah.
They're all contained. But he's like, okay, we gotta go run you guys. It was basically like a cattle call. Like we had to like get walked through painted grass.
Yeah.
And had some friends there. Brian Bullitt.
Okay.
Yeah. One of the
Yeah. Yeah, I remember him.
He was up in the grass area on the grass.
Oh, okay.
And he was on the grassy knoll. And we're like getting walked through and all that stuff, and people are cheering, and I was just like, these motherfuckers actually like us, huh? So it was weird. So then like we're walking through or whatever, and all I hear is, oh my God, is that rock girl Alyssa? And it's just like a voice like that, and I'm like, this bitch. And I look over and it's Brian. Yeah. I was like, you freaked me out. Stop it.
Nah, he was a funny guy. I haven't seen him in a long time, but
Arizona, his wife.
Yeah, that's right. But all right. So I think that leads us to the reverse interview, which is one of my favorite segments of this podcast. But it's also a little nerve-wracking because you never know what you're going to be asked. So did you have any questions that you wanted to ask either of us?
How old were you when you lost your virginities?
I was 15.
15 as well.
What?
Yeah.
No, I was at Brock's house though when that did happen. He invited a couple girls over, and then there was a girl who was a known virginity taker. She had at least a dozen under her belt, and I was lucky number 14.
She like penis Thanos?
I guess. She already had both hands filled. She was like working on getting the shoes done, I guess.
Yeah. I remember that
aggressive.
party. I remember that party. I was 15. I was at a party, and I just started seeing this chick. But we weren't like together at that point. And it was, nobody has a good story about losing their virginity, but
it's always awkward. You're trying to figure out what to do, what the moves are. Like you're trying to figure out what makes each other happy. Just like
it's like this goes in there. Like that's all you know.
Like head, shoulders, knees, and toes did prepare me for finding the clip. I don't know what I'm
doing. But yeah, so we just got drunk and ended up hooking up, but we didn't know what we were doing. So yeah, it was very, very fucking awkward.
Wrong hole. Mulligan.
But what about you, Alyssa?
I was 16.
16? Okay.
High school boyfriend.
Yeah.
She's trying to remember. What was his title? Like, were we seeing each other or were we not? Like
he too was a school whore. No, he actually. This is gonna be so horrible, but he passed away. So it was like 6 months after that. No, like I loved him. Like it was.
Yeah.
It was a thing. That was that. Yeah, it was a difficult one, but yeah. I was 16. I think he was like 18 at the time. Yeah, because he passed away.
Okay.
Yeah, he was 18. I was 16.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's sad he passed.
He lived a very fast life. So,
Gotcha. Did you have any other questions you wanted to ask Brett and I?
Brett mentioned that he was in Northern California, and that's where I'm from.
Yeah, I am
Where?
currently in Northern
You
California.
are.
I live in Ione, which is super, super small country bumpkin town in the middle of nowhere. About an hour southeast of Sacramento.
Oh.
Oh.
We're in San Jose.
San Jose really knows how to party.
Yeah.
San Jose and there was the other place. It's literally right on the water. Santa Cruz. Santa Cruz really knows how to party as well. Chico is really coming up as a huge party place too as well. It's like I'm 2 hours away from Tahoe, so it's like anytime I want to go get away, it's like nice little spot.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Nice.
Northern California is okay. California is just stupid expensive. That's all I will say.
Yeah, that's what I heard.
I
gotta make it
the
down
first house in Northern California. Like, oh, this is what I can afford. Great.
Get some paint.
Yeah.
Right.
And a whole family of roommates.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Had that for a while, but now no more.
Yeah. I'm tired of roommates. But all right, well, I think that concludes this episode. Unless you have anything else you want to ask Alyssa.
Oh, ask me or me ask you? What?
No, I just check and see if you had any other questions you wanted to ask either of us, or we definitely need to plug your blog.
Yeah, it is memoirs of a bartender.com. I don't know.
Sweet.
Anymore, but
sweet. We'll definitely be plugging that link in the description below. Do you want to give the shameless plugs, Brent? Is there better than I am?
Yeah, as much as I hate doing this, be sure, guys, to hit the subscribe button. It really helps us out. Check out her blog. We're on TikTok. We're on Patreon. We're on Instagram. We're on Twitter, Facebook. And if you want to find me in a more geek-centric area, I'll be available at Geek Variants, also on YouTube, where we're breaking down currently Miss Marvel and Obi-Wan based upon the time of the recording. We're still watching The Boys as well, so got a couple stuff going on that. Just finished episode 4. We'll be doing a podcast on that shortly. Brock,
Sweet.
your plugs?
Be sure to check me out on Facebook.com/FunnymanBrock. And then on Instagram, it is Brock_Terrano. And TikTok is FunnymanBrock as well.
All right, guys.
As well as YouTube.
This amazing show. Thank you, Alyssa, for coming on and honoring us with your time. And this will be where you can check her out, check us out. Thank you guys for listening to another exciting episode of Living with Humor, featuring Brock Terrano and Alyssa from KISW, former rock girl.